That's what I really like. I really like the stuff about the B relationship, because that's, B is an older woman. Every character in this movie except for Marie-Ange is older than Emmanuelle. But the heartbreak she has with B, because that's when you really realize Emmanuelle is very immature. Mm-hmm. And B isn't, and they didn't view the relationship on the same terms, and so I like that stuff. I think that's the strongest stuff in the movie. But we're here at the end of the movie. Jim, what did you think about Emmanuelle?
First time seeing it, I'd always heard about it. Of course, I wanted to delve into it because of Rochelle. Yeah, it's fine. I don't really. It was just weird. I don't know if I found it weird because of all the sex, or I found it weird because of its Frenchness, or Mario's philosophizing. It was an interesting movie. It's a very different kind of film. I can understand why this did so well in a place like France and why this has kind of made its way into pop culture. I did like the Emmanuelle and B stuff the most. That was...
for sure.
That was like the best part. And I mean, all the stuff in Thailand was...
That was a charming relationship, because we saw them do stuff other than sex, too. We saw them... They're going for their little boat ride in the Bangkok canals, the place where Sheriff J.W. Pepper vacationed. I was
about to say, yeah.
I was going to say, I know that's my biggest complaint of The Man with the Golden Gun, because does this look like a place that Sheriff J.W. Pepper would ever visit with his wife? No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
That man has not left the American South. I feel like that's a horrific character inconsistency. That's not the Sheriff J.W. Pepper that I know from Live and Let Die.
I still love in that movie where he gets pickpocketed by a little elephant.
A little elephant, that's a weird way to describe Knick Knack.
Got him. Oh, take that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have many thoughts on Emmanuelle, to be honest.
Well, we had a lot of thoughts. We went over them before we went over the movie, because I think this raises interesting questions about what is art, what is porn. We talked about that. Those are most of my thoughts about the movie. I think overall, I think as a movie, as a drama, it's far from perfect. Mm-hmm. I think the B stuff is definitely the best. Yes. I do like... I mean, I don't like the character of Jean, obviously. He's an asshole, and he's French, so double asshole. But I do like that how we are introduced to him. He's this, for lack of a better term, I'll use the phrase like perfect husband, maybe perfect French husband, not controlling, willing to let his wife do whatever she wants sexually, but then when she does that, he's bothered by it, but then it also becomes inconsistent, because then he wants her with Mario. Mm-hmm. And Mario ultimately wants her exploring her sexualities in, again, different but kind of the same ways that she's been doing the entire movie. I guess ultimately the big thing is they're trying to get Emmanuelle, Mario in particular is trying to get Emmanuelle to have sex without love, and maybe the love comes through the sex. And where she had sex with B because she was genuinely interested in her. But here, if you have sex with this random Thai boxer, maybe you'll be more fulfilled.
Yeah,
or
maybe
if you have
it's
sex
about
with this weirdo in the park at 11 p.m.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Is it about learning to love through sex, or learning to love sex versus learning to have sex with someone you love?
And that's the thing. I'm not French. I don't understand this stuff. The French are far more sexual people than us North Americans, I guess. I.e., they're perverts in many cases.
I knew that was coming.
But then again, you're the anime fan, so who's the bigger pervert?
Okay,
but,
okay, sir.
Yeah, so the movie is very French. I think you said that earlier, and that's, I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I think it makes it more interesting.
I think it makes it classier. I think it makes it classier.
Yes, I agree with that, and I think some of that is because we associate foreign films with classiness, which is not the case with our second foreign film today. But just like general like subtitles, like okay, it's a classy film, but like really, they make just as much smut over there in France and Italy as they do here. I mean, House by the Cemetery, the Italian movie that we've covered, is about the least classy movie I've ever seen. But there's a little something special about the subtitles. The subtitles, it plays a psychological trick with you. You're reading, so you think it's making you smarter.
Or even the French language is such beautiful
language
that too. To listen to.
I have mixed feelings about the French language. I know we've talked about this a little bit, with the pronunciation, how it feels like, just whatever the last 4 or 5 letters of a word, don't worry about them because it's going to be pronounced the same regardless of how the last 4 letters are. I don't really like the French language, but that's just me. I mean, it sounds good in these.
Well, the French language is better than the Quebecer language, Quebecer French.
That's probably true, but listen, give me a good heavy Glaswegian slang accent. That to me is like the sexiest thing in the world. But that's me. I'm a weirdo. Okay, I like me some.
I mean, I kind of agree with you.
Hard to understand Northern English and Scottish accents. I think they can be incredibly sexy and awesome. So yeah, I think we're kind of in the same boat with Emmanuelle. It's an okay movie. There's a time and a place for this movie. It's more of a curiosity than it is an entertaining film, I think. And it's a curiosity for a number of reasons. That this like weirdo softcore pornographic thing became a big international hit, and obviously it's from France makes it all the more likely for it to have been successful in the United States, but they still pulled it off. And then, Sylvia Kristel, we haven't said this, I think she is a good actress, at least in this movie. I think she gives a very good performance. Everything with her and B is very believable. The heartbreak she feels, and even the scenes where she's hanging around like looking like Ernest, like those are very charming, and I think she gives a really good performance. And I'm going to say she's the best part of this movie, and that's kind of surprising to me because I've seen this movie before, and so the big reason why overall I like the Black Emmanuelle movies more than the Emmanuelle movies. I love the weirdo Italian exploitation stuff, and they are that. But I also do find the actress Laura Gemser, who plays Black Emmanuelle, who, spoilers, isn't black. She's like, I think she might be Thai. She's like Asian of some sort. I find her just much more attractive than Sylvia Kristel. Not that Sylvia Kristel is by any means unattractive, but I still stand by that. I think Laura Gemser is an absolute beauty, and Sylvia Kristel, she's attractive, but no, she's, again, I don't think Laura Gemser is a bad actress from what I've seen her in, but Sylvia Kristel is very good here. I don't think I've seen her in anything outside of the Emmanuelle movies. I know she did some stuff. I want to say she made a movie in the early 80s where she was like a teacher who had sex with like her 14-year-old student or something. So maybe those were kind of the roles she got.
Oh, no.
At least in American films. But I think she was probably a very talented woman who, because Emmanuelle was such a big hit, kind of led her to being typecast. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I agree with you.